welcome you back for another special class today on adaptive management in resettlement planning and implementation. I'd like to believe that you are going to enjoy this class. Basically, the lesson objective today is for us to be able to define adaptive management, able to list the benefit of adapting management, to equally identify the phases of adaptive management. Generally, adaptive management is referred to the implementation of mitigating and managing management measures being responsible to changing conditions and the result of project monitoring. At every point projects are being monitored, the expectation is that there should be an adjustment and an adaptation. So when we talk about adaptive management generally, is the implementation of mitigation and management measures being responsible to changing the condition and the result of project monitoring. The process of adjusting and updating resettlement planning in response to project design changes is what we call adaptive management. The process of adjusting and updating resettlement planning in response to project design changes. So this process of adjusting and updating is what we call the adaptive management. Adaptive management is used in various fields to improve decision making under conditions of uncertainty. They are used in different fields, different areas. Some examples are environmental. They are used in project management. They are used in healthcare. They are used in business management. They are used in agriculture. They are used in engineering. They are used in sports, tourism, and public policies. So all of these various fields can adopt what we call adaptive management. There are key concepts in adaptive management. Adaptive management involves several key concepts. This concept helps in understanding the principles underlying adaptive management and how it operates. This key concept helps us to understand the principles of adaptive management. It helps us to understand how these principles also operate. They're very, very fundamental key concepts. The first concept is what we call the interactive process. Adaptive management is characterized by interactive cycle of planning, of implementing, monitoring, and evaluating and adjusting action. The first point of interactive process is very, very fundamental. It's characterized with the cycle of planning, implementing what is planned, monitoring the implementation process, evaluating it, and adjusting if need be. Another key concept is what we call flexibility. Every project should be flexible enough to respond to changing circumstances, uncertainty, and new information. In my class yesterday, I remember telling you that every project characterized with risks and uncertainty, and that is why the place of flexibility in adaptive management is key and crucial. Uncertainty management. Adaptive management acknowledge and address uncertainties inherent in complex systems, including ecological, social, and economic uncertainty. When we talk about ecological, we are talking about the environmental issues, the social issues, the economic factors, uncertainty. All of these are key concepts when we come to adaptive management. Collaboration and stakeholders engagement. Adaptive management calls for involving communities. The stakeholders involve the communities, involve the government, the NGOs, the scientists, as well as other stakeholders at every stage of the decision-making process. Very, very fundamental. That every adaptive management, there must be a collaboration. Collaboration, because this makes every project better to adapt to the adjustment as needed by the communities. The community must observe something. The government, the NGOs, the scientists. Another key concept is the concept of monitoring and evaluation. Monitoring and evaluation are critical components of adaptive management. They help to provide feedback on the effectiveness of actions and the achievement of objectives. They have to see, are we working according to the target objective? Are we working according to the goals that are set? Are there rooms for adjustment? Are there things that needed to be done that have not been done? How do we do it better? Very, very key concept. Adaptive management is necessary. Why is adaptive management necessary in resettlement planning? necessary resettlement planning because it helps to address the dynamic of nature of resettlement processes. It helps to manage uncertainty and risks. It helps to engage community effectively. The communities are involved. Dialogue, reconciliation process, discussing fundamental issues. They help also to mitigate environmental and social impact and help in sustainability of resettlement intervention. You don't just resettle them, you look at the sustainability of the resettlement. The dynamic nature of resettlement with changing social, economic, and environmental conditions require a flexible approach to planning and implementation. There's no rigid rule about it. It must be flexible. Uncertainty and risks. Resettlement projects often involve uncertainty regarding land acquisition, compensation, livelihood restoration, and social integration. Some of these are very, very important. That is why resettlement planning is necessary to be able to address the issue of uncertainty, the issue of risks. It is not possible to resettle people without risk involvement, without certain uncertainties. All of these are very key matters. Environmental, why is it necessary? It's because it helps in environmental and social impact. Learning and knowledge sharing. Planning for a resettlement frequently entails number of stakeholders with a range of background and viewpoint. The stakeholders involved, the people you are going to resettle, the place you are going to resettle them, the various stakeholders that are involved, all of them have different background. In aligning and synchronizing their background become very, very important for the place of learning and knowledge sharing. Why is it necessary? Because of long-term sustainability. I talked about sustainability yesterday. To improve the well-being and resilience of affected communities over a long term. So it makes the matter of sustainability very profound in resettlement issue. You can't avoid conflict. So another key issue is resolution of conflict. The settlement initiative will give rise to dispute among many parties involved, such as government, organization, impacted communities and project developers. The place of resolution of conflict become very important. The government may be seeing it from a different perspective, the community may be seeing it from another perspective, the project developers may be seeing it. You need to harmonize them and solve the conflict among them. Drivers of adapting adaptive management. There are drivers. Adopting adaptive management is driven by various factors. One of the factors that is driven by is what we call the complexity and uncertainty. Adaptive management provides a means of navigating circumstances when systems are dynamic and complex and results are unpredictable. When you cannot predict it, the situations are complex. Adaptive management dives into it and provides means of escape. When risks are management, by continuously evaluating and modifying the tactics in response to shifting circumstances or unforeseen events. Adaptive management helps you to see how you adjust. It helps in resilience and flexibility, enhancing the ability to adjust to changes conditions. Adaptive management fosters resilience, ability to put through, not minding the circumstances, not minding the difficulties. By adaptive management, you're able to skate through. Engagement of stakeholders. Another driver adopting adaptive management. Adaptive management promotes involvement and cooperation among stakeholders. It helps stakeholders to dialogue. Bring a point of connection, a meeting point between them. It helps stakeholders to be involved and adjusting to the realities and crisis responses. When faced with a crisis or sudden shift, adaptive management can offer a structure for taking quick decisions and taking action. Adaptive management provides structure for taking quick decisions and for taking action when faced with sudden shift, when faced with challenges. Benefit of adopting adaptive management. There are benefits. Why do we adopt adaptive management? Number one, it promotes comprehension of outcome. These tactics can assist you in comprehending the reason and mechanism of an outcome by closely examining the chain of events from cause to effect. What causes what? What is responsible? What is the effect? It enhances resilience. Organizations using adaptive management can increase their resistance to shock, to disruption, and unanticipated occurrence. There are things that are occurring that we don't know, that we can't explain. but with the principle of adopting adaptive management, it's able to give opportunity to resist shock and adjust to. Another benefit of adopting adaptive management is adaptation to changing conditions. Adaptive management enhances organization to adapt more effectively to changing environment, to social, economic, and political conditions. It helps to adjust. It helps an organization to adapt more effectively to the changing environment, to the social issues, to the economic and political conditions. Another benefit of adopting adaptive management is that it enhances stakeholders' involvement. I've talked about stakeholders' involvement, but enhances stakeholders. Places a strong emphasis on the value of involving stakeholders in decision making. An individual doesn't just sit in one place and take decision. Involve all the various stakeholders and it makes it better. Let's quickly look at adaptive management cycle. The adaptive management cycle is a structured, continual process that provides a basis for robust decision making in the face of uncertainty through monitoring and learning feedback. Adaptive management cycle involves a series of interconnected steps that enable organizations and stakeholders to continually assess, adjust, and improve their management strategies in response to changing conditions and new information. It's interconnected steps. It is an organizational method used to handle uncertainty, gain knowledge from experience, and modify tactics over time in environmental management, in conservation, in natural resources management, and other complex systems. Adaptive management, the method to handle uncertainty, to gain knowledge from experience, enable them to modify tactics over time. Let's look at the adaptive management cycle. Call it adjustment management, action, and arrangement to enhance effectiveness. Evaluate and learn. Start, plan, do, and adjust. Determine the management objective. You define the key desired outcome. You identify under the planning. What you do in planning is that you identify the key desired outcome. After defining your outcome, your desired outcome, you identify the performance indicators. What are the performance indicators? Then you develop management strategies and actions. And after you plan, after planning, you do. What do? You establish monitoring program for selected performance indicators. You establish program for monitoring, and you identify some selected performance indicators to enable you to know whether you are doing well or not. Implement strategies and action to achieve objectives. You implement the strategies, the actions to achieve specific objectives. And after that is done, you periodically review overall management program. Periodically, reporting findings and recommendations of evaluation. You report the findings. You provide recommendation of the evaluation. You evaluate management effectiveness. So basically, this planning involves four. You plan, you do, you evaluate and learn. Then we call what we call you adjust, adjustment management action and arrangement to enhance effectiveness. So these are the 4 steps. The first thing is that you plan. It's popularly saying if you fail to plan, you are planning to fail. So for every project, the first thing you do, you don't just start doing. The first thing you engage in is planning. And after planning, you do. And after doing, you evaluate what you are doing. And you learn from it. And after learning, you do the necessary adjustment as expected. So these are the basis of adaptive management. The planning stage, the implementation, the monitoring. In the monitoring, you collect data, you assess the effectiveness of the implementation, the evaluation, and the adaptation. The adapting current method, creating fresh plan, redistribution of resources, all of these are the things you do. Then you integrated the cycle. The adaptive management cycle is a continuous process, which I have explained. Then the adaptive management requires feedback loops and learning, especially in dynamics and unpredicted cycle. It's a continuous improvement. Learn from feedback and allow for continuous improvement. Improve resilience. Develop more strength to adjust to shock. Then the efficiency. In the case of the efficiency, organization can find area for improvement and inefficiency. Then stakeholders involvement, I've explained. You get all of them involved. The risk management, the feedback you get. Enhance adaptability. Innovation. Learning from feedback foster innovation. by encouraging experimentation and exploration of new ideas. Innovations, you exploit them, you implement them. Improve choice making. The feedback loop gives detail regarding choice result example in natural resource management that help future decision makers make more informed choices. The feedback loops and learning are critical for achieving the goal of adaptive management. And part of this is including sustainable resources use, resilience to changes, and improved decision making. The feedback loops, importance of feedback loops again is that and learning are essential component for adaptive management because they enable organizations to adapt to changes continuously, improve, build resilience, enhancing efficiency, foster innovation, engage stakeholders, build adaptive capacity, and manage risks effectively. Thank you for listening. Thank you. When you go through the material, you'll be able to learn more and understand the concept of adaptive management. Look forward to see you in more of our classes. Thank you.